Hey, so I'd like to take a moment and just talk about a serious issue, which is so not like me. Um, the manipulation of the threshold of competency. So, as a legal tactic, this is a threat to all life on Earth, all Americans, anybody of competency that is interested in being free or sovereign or independent or in any way prideful of self-sustaining whatever um, ego as a matter of choice at any point in their life. So I'd like to take a moment and just kind of talk about consciousness and conscious awareness and kind of what it means to me and how it's relevant to life in general. So, in your mind, you have the chooser, the awareness, whatever, and it comes and goes, right? So, you're not consciously aware all day, every day. You go from sleep to wide awake and then back to sleep, right? Every day. And then as a child, you are ignorant of the world, and throughout life, you gain um, experience, and through comparison and analysis and categorization and memory, we gain kind of a broader understanding of the world around us, and that gives us more choice, more awareness, right? So as you go through, and then you reach a point of kind of peak awareness, and that's going to vary depending on the person, but at a certain point, our mental state does start to decay in life. So throughout life, I'm doing the wiggle as you wake up and fall asleep every morning. So that's the I forget not the carrier frequency. The carrier frequency would be the big arc. But, so the whatever, the frequency being carried, being awake and falling asleep every day, your consciousness is falling. Well, technically it falls all the way down every night, but anyway, throughout life you become more aware, and then you decline, right? So we don't have the same level of culpability when we are inebriated or when we're asleep as we do when we're fully aware. And just like that, we don't have the same level of culpability that we do as a mature adult that we do when we are a child or geriatric in some level of decline. So I think that that's fair and kind of an unwritten understanding of like moral principle, um, and it's not really written down, but everybody kind of goes with it, right? So what I'd like to talk about is kind of the exploitation of that wiggle room for the purpose of torture, enslavement, exploitation, um, murder. The list goes on, really. So basically, what it comes down to is the use of mental illness to take away civil liberties, civil rights, um, God-given rights, right? So you can't do this because you're crazy, right? So what I'm doing is I'm saying to you essentially, so your state of awareness is that of like a child or that of a sleeping person. I can't allow you to have power because you don't have a level of awareness that can manage that power, right? So that's what you're saying to somebody when you're saying that they're crazy, is you're saying that you're not really deserving of power because your level of awareness is not sufficient, right? So you're saying you're a child, you're asleep, or you're in decay. Either way, my level of awareness is superior to yours. The implication is that that's sustaining and somehow permanent, but disregard that subtext and just kind of roll with it. the implication is that you're unaware, right? So, and then this is where it can be manipulated. So that can be a tactic to take someone's power away. But the flip side of that coin is when you don't have power, what don't you also have? You don't have a tremendous amount of responsibility, right? Because you're not necessarily in control. Because they took away the tools of power, and they pretty much legally told you that you're undeserving of it. Now, when it comes to responsibility, they are incentivized to flip that switch and say, well, you are responsible. We need to extract power from you, right? So all of a sudden, now that they want to take again, the level of awareness must be sufficiently higher. Other words, it would be evident that they are in fact in violation of the law. So the easiest thing to do is to take somebody who really isn't crazy and then just call them crazy, right? And you know, there's something, it's called gaslighting, and some of it's a cultural thing and some of it's not. But when it comes to state action, specifically stuff that's going on like in the courtroom, where people are getting their children taken away, people are getting their gun rights taken away, people are getting, their right to politically organize or publicly assemble being taken away, then it because of these accusations, while they're simultaneously being taxed, while they're simultaneously being held liable for speech that they're making, right? So you're saying to someone, you're not fit to have power, and then you're attempting to extract power from them by any means necessary, seemingly. And that's really what it comes down to, is you're crazy when it's convenient for the courts to have a crazy person that they don't need to listen to. And then you're sane when the courts need to punish you because they can't punish a crazy person. Okay? So you understand how that works. So I had 7 years of restraining orders where they took away the right for me to raise my children in any religion I see fit. They took away from me the right for me to communicate with my children in any way I see fit. I owe my children like $5,000, I think, since I lost my other job, and then I had to run in with the law. I owe my kids like $5,000, and I can give them every bit of that and then some. My issue isn't with giving my children everything that I have. My issue is with who is gonna be the one physically giving it to them, right? So if I give it to the police and then the police give it to my children, my daughter could end up marrying a cop. And I need you guys to just think about this. It's not done by accident, right? So they're not just saying to me, you're crazy, you can't talk to your kids, and then accidentally taking money from me and giving it to my children. They're doing it to train them to look at the police as their father, as their protector. And I don't want that. I want to give my children my money directly so they know that their father loves them, so that they have strength in their personal identity and don't get lost in a stream of nationalist psychopaths. That's it. They need to have strength and knowledge that their family, that their father is the source of their security, and not the government, and not the state. And that's my objection, and that's probably why I'm going to be in jail. And I'll be honest, that's probably why I'm going to die in jail. But you get it. It's the cops. They took my kids. They called me crazy. They called me crazy in front of my kids. And now they want to take from me and give to my kids as if it was them providing it. It's sick. I'll never be allowed to say this in court, and no police officer would ever write this down. But it's the truth.